Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to Champions Chess Tour Finals Day 8. This is Sagar Shah and welcoming you to a day filled with fun, excitement, and awesome chess. Let's get it going. I'm sorry I'm late by a few minutes because just when I was about to go live, Vaishali, who was at the Athens airport traveling from Spain to Armenia, had just won the silver medal, was available for an interview, and I was like, I can't miss this opportunity right now. And so I did an interview with her, and now I'm here. So apologies to all of you who are waiting, but you can already find the interview on our YouTube channel. That is there. Vaishali, who helped Team India win this historic silver medal at the World Teams. There we have. Oh, Magnus Carlsen lost. What happened? It was an equal position, guys. Any updates on what happened there? Just trying to understand, because this position that we have on the screen right now is equal. So how is it that Magnus Carlsen lost? Let me just check if you guys can hear me well. AG won? AG also won. Okay. Ah, the game is updated now. Okay, okay. Maybe it was not updated. Last, okay, got it. This was the last position. So he won. Okay, we'll look at this game. Wow, Magnus in trouble. Yeah, yesterday Radjabov beats him. Today, Levon Aronian beats him. So just so that, let's have a look at Anish's game. Here, Anish managed to beat. So we'll go through these games, and guys, I'm back home in Mumbai, so much better internet and everything. Magnus has already won it. Yeah, he's already won the tournament. But let's have a look at how Anish beat MVL, because Anish MVL games are always exciting. English, knight c6, d4 takes, knight f6, knight c3, e6. And here the main moves are, I think g3 is one move. There is also a3. But Anish goes bishop f4, d5, cd, knight d5, knight c6 attacks the queen. So you have to take it back. Bishop d2, so that when you take here, I'll take back with the bishop. Rook b8, e4 makes a lot of sense. Takes, takes, queen takes. And now an important moment. Do you take with the rook or do you take with the king? Guys, let me know in the chat. What do you recapture with? Today is Grand Chess Tour day 8, right? Yeah, today is the penultimate day. Day 8. Let me see if I can get. Yep. Okay. So what do you recapture with? Let me see. Please write the moves so that we can check in the chat chess moves what the possibilities are. King d1 has been suggested more times than rook d1, but a lot of you have written king or rook or so on, so it has not yet registered it. But I am impressed by the fact that many of you did consider taking with the king. but rook is more. Shibi Binoj, Ronak Opi, Bhavesh Mishra, Deba Malya Ghosh, Yash Gupta, No Name, Riyan Shah, Tanushri Gururaj, Lakshay and Yashash Subramaniam. Well done, guys. So just think about it this way. Okay. In my head, I always see if I take with the king, this is already queens are off the board. So my king is not so weak. Then I try to see if there is a good spot where my king can be parked. What I mean is there a good square where the white king can safely sit in this position? Can you tell me a good square? What is a good square in this position for the white king? Yes, very good. No Name, Tanushri, Gururaj, Bondita Bhagwati, Tizya Kumar, Arun, Gun Singhania, Tanmay Bhagwat. Very good. Excellent. C2 is a good square. And I love that you guys don't say D2 because it's on an open file. There will be a check here. Not also E2 because there will be bishop A6. You are also blocking your bishop. So when you have king C2, then you realize that actually taking with the king makes a lot of sense. And for many, it will come as a surprise that you can do this in such positions. F6, E5 by Anish, king F7. He puts his bishop on C4, bishop B4, and now the king comes in. Rook D8, and he puts a rook here to exchange. Rook takes, and now there could be threats of rook D8 pinning here. So he has to be careful. Takes on C3, and now do you take with the pawn or do you take with the king? I'm asking you some interesting decisions to see how good you guys are positionally. Write king c3 if you want to take with the king. If you want to take with the pawn, write bc3. B takes c3, you know, bc3. Dhruv Mitra, yes, I'm back in Mumbai. We traveled today from Pune back to Mumbai. I'm back in my home. Home feels good. Internet is good for streaming. You have the green screen. Everything is great. But of course, we had a great time at Amruta's place as well. Life is like a, how do you say? Life is like a journey, yeah? And you're always at different places. And what I have learned, one thing is, I have stopped now. I mean, in the pandemic, when I stayed for almost 1.5 years at one place in my home, I got a bit attached to it. But when earlier we were traveling like every other few days, we would be at a new place, that attachment to a place was lost. The world becomes your home. You can travel anywhere. But of course, at home, you feel a little more comfortable. Yes, let's see how people have responded here. Beautiful, guys. Beautiful. You take with the king because of a very simple reason. When you take with the pawn, you create more pawn islands. Vijay Khatra, thank you for becoming pillar of Indian chess. That's the first member for today. Thank you, Vijay. While if you take with the king, your pawns are together. That's a very important thing here. Okay, great. So now Anish has a good position. King e7 to stop rook d8. By the way, if he had taken here f takes e5, then after rook d8, this pin is brutal. Brutal. So king e7, ef, gf, rook d3. Beautiful move. I love this move, man. Very nice. You see, he's just switching his rook here, and this lonely h7 pawn is saying, someone please come and save me. I'm all alone. But that's what happens when you're isolated. That's why you should be in a group so that your fellow citizens can save you. Bishop d7. One question could be what to do to e5, because then h3 is controlled. But then I think Anish would have gone rook g3 to enter from this side. So bd7, now the rook switched to h3 and rook h8. Generally, you don't want to play such a move. And now, guys, time for you to play a good technical move. White to play. What do you play here? Technique is important. My volume is low. Really? I thought it's okay. Is it low? It's my jugaad for uh, bringing the mic a little bit up. Take some books and put it here. Okay, maybe better. See, this is where I do not, I want you to guys to improve. See, and listen to my explanation, and then we will try to see if the answers change. Okay. Firstly, you guys want to play maximally bishop d3, many of you. So what did Nimzovich say always is that you cannot attack a weakness until it is immobilized. What is immobilized? Like, imagine there is a lion in the forest and you want to catch it. What do you have to do? You have to first immobilize it. You have to trap him. Okay. Or there is any animal for that matter. So in this position, if you want to catch this pawn, you have to first immobilize it. Let's see how many people are now able to understand this hint. Very good. Now I see in the chat rook h6 improving, going upwards, right? Very good. So here you immobilize this pawn first before attacking it, and you also make the rook very passive. h5, if you played bd3, then h5, suddenly the rook is breathing. It has more space to breathe, right? Okay, so rook h6, nice move. Well done, guys. I should also read out the name of the people who said rook h6 first. Deeban Kumar, Tanushri Gururaj, Yashas Subramaniam, Omansh Manchanda, Harshvardhan, Swastik, Shubham, Mohammad Zishan, Aniket, Shravan, Sridhara. Well done. Now e5 was played. Anish went back bd3. King here. I think f5 would be a bit too weakening. The rook's influence grows and the bishop comes back, and now it's very passive position. You see, the bishop can't move, the rook can't move, this is hanging, the king can't move. It's like you have managed to just tie up black completely. So here king f7, he wants to go to g7, but Anish says thank you for the pawn. Rook bishop takes and f5. So the bishop is now trapped. White to move. What do you do here? Come on, come up with an idea. Your bishop is getting trapped. He's coming here and he's going to win your bishop. Kartikeya Rishi, Path Saxena, Deeban Kumar, Aniket Mohapatra, Unitech, Tizia Kumar, Bondita Bhagwati, Sagar Goyal, Shubham Goyanka. Very good, guys. G4 is the correct move. Now this is hanging, so he had to play FG. And Anish here rightly understood that even in this endgame, he is better. Guys, can you tell me one reason why, two reasons why Anish is better in this endgame? What is the reason why he is better? Pawn Islands says Himalayan Nudini. That's true. Black has 4 islands, all pawns different islands, while white has 1, 2, and 3 islands. Good reason. King activity, Gajanan Joshi, very good. King activity, Narsingh Badoria, well done. King is active. One more reason I want. Better king placement. What is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? Can anyone come up with that? A7 is weak. Yes, Akshat. Pawns are on dark squares. These pawns are on dark squares and cannot be attacked by this bishop, while this pawn here is on a light square and can always be attacked. So these are few things in white's favor which give him a positional advantage which is good enough to win this endgame. Bishop e6, a4, king f6, king c5, bd5, b4, bishop f3, king d6, e4, a5, bg2, a6, king g5, and now Anish won this position. He's pawn up. I think there were some chances to draw, perhaps bishop e2. Maybe he had to find bishop f1. But how does that improve your position? Like, anyway, I'm going king d6, king h4. Oh, got it, got it. The thing is, with bishop f1, the bishop can't come back to g2 to stop king h3 now. So if we go into a race, oh, f4 is coming here. F4. Maybe first let's go bishop e2, b5. I take, and it was a draw. So in the game, when he played here bishop e2, no, there he had to go bishop f1. And now Anish instantly finds the best move in the position, which was bishop g2, preventing the king from coming. And now you will see how the bishop and pawn work beautifully to cover all the squares. Because pawn is on dark square, bishop is on light square. King here, a6, king here, bishop d3, king b6, bishop e2, king here, bishop b7, and yeah, Anish managed to win this endgame. So very instructive game, very nicely played by Anish Giri. And also let's have a look at the scorecard, because we'll get to see who are the players leading here. Oops. It's too big. By the way, change in camera, so that happens. Let me see if I can pull this up. Yep, there you have it. So Duda, Wesley So drew. Levon Aronian beat Magnus Carlsen. Let's have a quick look at that game as well. Temur Mamedyarov drew. I guess they might not fight too much coming from the same country, but we'll see. Anish versus MVL draw. Anish won. Hikaru and Artemiev drew. Just to see how Magnus Carlsen lost to Aronian. Oh, look at Magnus. What did he play here? Very weird opening. But he got a good position. Okay, all good, check. I think Aronian had a fine position somewhere, but I mean, Carlsen had a fine position. Yeah, here. Queen e5, maybe not the best. He should have blocked with rook f6. Queen e5, f6. Oh. What did he miss? Like if I take here. Nice. Actually, very interesting. Very interesting. He had a pin here. He had a fork here, but this doesn't work because of queen e7, and that's why he first played f6. So that if you now take, then knight f7, and if now queen e7, then I can take rook f6. Very alert, very alert. So queen c3 was played, but f7, knight c4, knight e6, king h3, knight e5, threatening a mate in one, but very alert check. Queen h5 was the move. I was thinking if rook h1 works, but rook h1, there is knight e1. Yeah, even that is okay. You have to find now rook h2 to stop queen g2, and then you win with some care. But queen h5 is very clean, because now your king has the g4 square to come out. Take queens and resigns, because even here queen g2, there is king here. Great game by Aronian and very nice play. Let's go and check. The next round is all about to begin, and we can get in the players here so that you can see them on the screen. There you have Magnus Carlsen versus Levon Aronian. Let me also try and get Anish Giri on the screen. He is playing against MVL. And let's begin with the game of Anish this time. The games have started. Anish Giri playing with black. This time goes for... Guys, what is the name of this opening? All those who have seen my video with Suhani will know this. Give link to your spectacles. You like my spectacles so much that you want a link. Guys, it's not the best. Go and buy something else. Yes, Petrov, Kartikeya Rishi, Okira OP, Akshay Bhujbal. Very good. It's called Petrov. Oh my god, it's the Petrov. And one of the most common beginner errors is knight e4. This is supposed to be a bad move. Just remember this. Don't copy your opponent. The right move here is to first push the knight away and then take the pawn. But if you take it directly, it's a bad move because of... Can anyone tell me why? Mayur says, I have gone knight takes e4 first and dearly paid for it. But how? No name. Himalayan Houdini, Yashmani Gupta, Path Saxena, Deb Malia Ghosh, Okira OP, Harshvardhan Acharya, Kartikeya Rishi. Very good, guys. You all know it. This was the first trap I learnt in my life in chess. I was playing an inter-school tournament, and one of my friends who was pretty good at that point showed me this trap, that what happens when your opponent copies queen e2, and the thing is that if you now save your knight, comes a deadly disco, attacks the queen, there is a check, and you lose the queen. You can't even interpose because the knight takes it. The thing that I learned later is that black is not completely lost here, and he has one way to still keep fighting in this position, which is... Deepan Kumar says, engine says it's fine. Engine says it's +1 for white only, not +3, because there is one move, and I read this in some article later on, that it's possible to play, and I was very surprised. Yes, Chess Kings, you are right. Yashas Subramaniam. All those who are saying D5, that is wrong. Okira OP, you are right. Safal Fazil, Mayuresh Redkar. So D5 is bad because of D3. And now anyway, when you move, there is a check and you lose the queen. But the right move is Queen E7. And after Queen takes E4, you play the move D6. And yeah, you will... I mean, it'll take some time. White can play D4. And it's an open question here as to how big of an advantage is it for white. But he's a pawn up, and I think it's a big enough advantage. You know, it's a pretty good advantage. Oh, my battery is gone. 1 second. I'll guys, I'm just changing it, and this is one thing that I'm very happy about, that I can change this very quickly. Within 30 seconds we should be back. Yep, all good, all good, all good. Okay, we are back. No, I was changing it. That's why my voice was low. So, yeah, a knight e5, d6 was played in the game. He went back. Now knight takes e4. Bishop d3. That's a interesting move. He went d5. Solid move. Queen e2. Bishop e7. Oh, bishop e7. That's a pawn. That's a pawn that Anish has given. Take. Take. Castles. Castles. c5. d4. Takes. Takes. Knight c6. Queen d8. Rook d8. Guys, you will also see how much understanding these top players have. It always surprises me that they can assess the position correctly, that when you give up a pawn like this, you have enough compensation for the bishop pair here. I mean, white has an extra pawn, but black has bishop pairs, bishop pair here. Maybe bishop f5, b5. Ooh, b5, b4. He's going for that. Yash Mani Gupta says, couldn't Anish have gone for Stafford Gambit? Generally, it's not a good idea to play Stafford at this level. He would lose. Savite Chess says, I saw the move Queen e7 while preparing against Petrov as white in chess base. Chess base plus mega database is always useful, each and every enthusiastic player. It's very good to know, Savita, that you use it. And also, it's a very useful tool. I have the link in the description. So if anyone wants to get it, it's the 4th link or 3rd link in the description. You can check it out. Chessbase plus mega database there. Okay, so he goes bishop e3 and he wants to solidify with his knight on d4 perhaps. I want to also just see once this position here in our chess base and mega database if I can. Let's see if I can open it here. Yeah. So that we can learn if Anish's move was a novelty or is it something that he had prepared. You know, it's always good to know these things. Yeah. So here, just very quickly, e4, e5. And on the right, you will see that the moves are being populated. Knight f3, knight f6, knight e5, d6, knight f3 takes, bishop d3, d5, queen e2. Oh, and queen e7 was the main move, but bishop e7 has been played twice. Oh my god. It's a new idea by Anish. Guys, it's a new idea. You will see that 2 games which have been played here are by Franken and Bruske and Gutsy and Borodowkin, and these are all not strong players. And if you see this same position, Queen e7 has been played so many times, and it has been played by Wesley So, Yesipenko, Hari Krishna. Many good players have played it. So Anish has come up with a new idea. So this you get to know from Chessbase and Mega Database. Let's go back to the main board. And Anish is so confident about his position that he even found time to play h6. Darin N, thank you for becoming backer of Indian Chess. You've been member for 8 months. That's very cool. Thank you, Darin. Anime with Sensei. Thank you for becoming backer of Indian Chess. We have had 3 members today. Okay, so now the idea after h6 is to maybe go b4 in the position, possibly to go a5. He's going to use his two bishops, and the idea with h6 was to stop knight g5. But my question is, can white not play knight d4 here? Let's say knight d4. I think Anish will take it. And how do we continue? a5. Okay, knight d2 maybe, finishing development, b4. And what essentially Anish is saying is that, yes, I'm pawn down, but I have enough counterplay. Your rook cannot move because a2 is weak. My bishops are well placed and I have play on the queen side. Okay, good game, good to see this. Let's move on and come back to this game in a bit. A few more things have happened. Meanwhile, knight has come to b3. But now after b takes c3, thus there would be a weakness here. Oh, look at this. Mamedyarov and Radjabov quickly drew their game. Another game that they drew, I think they are going to make 4 draws. And let's look at now Magnus Carlsen's game, because Magnus has to fight back. He lost the first game. So English opening is, I think, a very good weapon when you are in must win. Mainly because it's very flexible. You know, there are many things that are possible in this. So that's the reason why this is known as the McKenna's system in the English. And we have the 4th member of today, Gumar Gaurav. Thank you so much. d5. Thank you for becoming backer of Indian chess, Kumar Gaurav. d5, e5, d4. Takes, all very common. fg7. I think more common here is to take b takes c3, queen takes f6, and then you usually play knight f3 or d4. But he went fg7, cd2, bishop d2, bishop g7. And this is supposed to be okay for black because the bishop is well positioned here. Magnus went queen b3. Levon put his knight on c6. Now his knight can come to d4. Quite active there. Knight f3, queen e7, bishop d3, a5, bishop e4, a4, queen b5. And guys, here I want you to learn this ability. What should black play? See, there is a pawn that is hanging. What should black play in this position? Let's see now how many of you can come up with a good move here. Param Shroff, nice news. Arjun Erigasi wins junior under 21 round table with Alexei Sarana tied at first position. Wow. It's great news. That is great news. Arjun, of course, a champion player, but I think the real player who, the player who played awesome in that tournament also along with Arjun is Bharat Subramaniam, who's just 14 years old, and I think he made his first GM norm there. सोहम पांड्या से सागर भाई कुछ रिवील तो करो टीम्स के बारे में. अरे अनीश गिरी ने ऑलरेडी रिवील किया है. Now let's see what you guys are saying, guys. Also, our aim is to reach 769k today. We need 150 people to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed and are enjoying this commentary, please do subscribe. It would help us to reach 769k. See, bishop d7. Learn this. Now you all have to learn this. It's known as positional pawn sacrifice. Bishop d7 by Akshay Bhujbal, Amrit Singh, Aman Jain, AJ Gaming, Soham Salunke, so many people. And this is very natural that comes to you as players who are starting off at chess, or maybe you guys are pretty good as well also, but it's very natural that when something is hanging, you want to defend it. And if it's your move, you want to attack something. But here, you can just castle in this position. Why is this a good move? Is that because after take, and take, what happens in such positions is that white has given up a very important bishop. At the same time, he has lost time in getting that pawn. So black can now even if he plays a move like bd7, black is doing very well, has great compensation. But even better is the move rook a6, attacking the queen. The queen really has very few places to go. If it goes to b5, then there can be rook b6 and taking here. And if you go to e4, then I can play a3. You can't take this pawn because your rook is hanging. So even though concretely here black is getting something, I would say that in this position, giving up that bishop is not a good idea, and you can castle. And that is exactly what Aronian did. So all those who said castles in this position, great job, guys. Kartikeya Rishi, Deb Malya Ghosh, Shashwat Bolt Song, Savita Chess, Bondita, Dhanai, Sanat, Lucian, Yusuf, Nayan. Well done, guys. Excellent job. Beautiful. Okay, we have couple of super chats. Prabodh Prakash, I think this is the third day or fourth day since you have been giving huge super chats. Very grateful, Prabodh. Okay, cool. I came online few minutes back, so thought we'll continue with streak. How does these money support Indian chess? I haven't thought of yet, Prabodh, but if you would like to support Indian chess, then you can also write to us at chessbaseindia@gmail.com, and we would be glad to institute some kind of a scholarship or give a lump sum amount. Maybe if you have something to give to any player who is in need of it, we can let you know. But for now, generally we have streams where super chats are dedicated for some players or for some cause, but in this one it wasn't, so this will go to Chessbase India for its functioning and so on. But if you would like to contribute for any player, I'm most welcome to please write to us. But thank you so much for this contribution. Travel with Nikhil Roshan says to chat, दुआ मिलेगी मेरी आपको अगर आप सब्सक्राइब कर देंगे. अच्छा, आप और हम मिलकर साथ कुछ नया ट्रांसक्राइब कर देंगे. अरे ट्रांसक्राइब, लेट्स टेक सब काउंटर. ओके, 769k. So castles, f5. Now Magnus said, this is too much. Yeah, Levon, you are forcing me to take a pawn. Levon is like, be my guest, take it. So he takes it, and now rook a6 again, queen b5, because if you see now the squares were covered by the pawn, so you have to go to b5, rook b6, take on a4, bishop b7. This is so much he believes in his position. Okay, one question is, if I play rook takes b2, this isn't the best because of rook a b1. And yeah, that's not the best move there. And white is better because now he's pawn up and he has a good, you see, activities quenched. So here Levon played bb7 and he says, I'm 2 pawns down, but look at my bishops crisscrossing the position. c5. Now he takes on b2. Rook a b1. Wow, this is getting interesting. Okay, if I take on f3, he takes on b2, bishop b2, gf3. The king looks a little weak, and now Levon Aronian in thought. If you see him on the screen, he just adjusts his... This is Levon's way of thinking, yeah? I've seen him many times. He does this, and then he does this. And he now is deciding what to play. I think there are many interesting moves here. Rook a8 is one possibility. There is bishop takes f3 as another possible move. We have a super chat by Gaurav, who sends €2 and says, Levi ke saath episode काफी insightful tha. Yeah, I want to tell you guys that I did a podcast with Levi Rosman on Gotham City, his channel where he uploads podcasts and clips and so on. And over there, we spoke about many different things. And I think it was a very interesting interview or podcast where not only does he ask me questions, but there were a few questions I also asked him, and you can get to know about him as well more, and myself. So you can check it out. A lot of people have liked it. Okay, rook a b1. What do you play here with white? Vishal Talavanekar says the podcast was beautiful. Going through a similar fatigue currently, it helped me a great deal hearing your insights. Thanks. I think Vishal, I have been able to. The podcast was around a month ago. I've been working a lot on that. If you're going through fatigue in life and feeling a little bit bored and stressed, it helps a lot if you can change your environment. Just goes like I went to Chennai for Olympiad, then I went to Pune right now with Amruta. Just change the environment, meet new people. And I know in the COVID it was a little bit dangerous to travel, but now if you can meet new people, have new experiences, it really helps. C5 is also hanging. That is true. So here Levon is thinking about what to do. Um, let's go to Anish's game very quickly and see what is up with him, because last we saw was him took on c3, bishop a3, rook bd1, rook ad1, a5, takes, guys. And here it is even possible that black can start pushing if at the right time he gets in the move a4 and wins this pawn. So take, knight takes, bishop c4. That's an important move. An important question is, why is bishop a2 a blunder, or is it a playable move? Right? Blunder if you think it's a blunder, playable if you think it's playable. Kumar Gaurav says, can you please make a video in using Skid, as Chessbase is a paid tool? I use SCID as alternate of chess.com. Also about the week in chess for latest PGN. No, the week in chess is very good, was very good, I think earlier as well. Right now I've stopped using it, but I think for all the latest updates of the game, the weekinchess.com is very good. I use mega database updates, but I haven't used Skid, because I can tell you one thing, that once you start using Chessbase, it's very, very comfortable. I know it's a paid tool, but I haven't seen SCID tool, Kumar. Blunder, playable, blunder, big blunder. No, I'll tell you guys, all those who say it's blunder, you are wrong. It's a playable move. Because after rook a1, here is a nice move that makes it playable. That is your turn now. All those who said blunder, please find the good move here for black to play. Anish could have taken the pawn. I will, by the way, Kumar Gaur, I'll check that out and I'll see if it is good or not. And then maybe I can let you know if there are some good features there, but I'll see. Yes, absolutely right. Lot of you have guessed the correct move. In fact, rook b8 is the correct move. Excellent job here. Back rank, always remember the back rank weakness. Shreyas Deosthali, Prathamesh, Varsha More, Sri Kumar EH, Deba Malya Ghosh, Aman Singh, Parth Saxena, Asta Sharma, Faltu Fryer, Ankur Soni. Okay, guys. So the move here is rook to b8, and you can't take this because rook b1 is a checkmate. So that's the reason why it was possible to take, but Anish said, I'll take this at a better opportune moment. I want to first play bishop c4. Anyway, this is blocked. So he goes bishop c1, and now Anish even keeps his bishop. He's getting a bit ambitious here. a4, rook c8, bd7, bd2, bishop c5, h4, f6, rook b1, and this is the position on the board right now. I think he still has compensation. Guys, you can see how the bishops control so many squares. Together they are strong. Prabodh Prakash says, when will Chessbase support Mac? I want to but cannot purchase it due to this limitation. I use Hayax instead. So Prabodh, firstly, Chessbase has become more Mac friendly. If you see their new DVDs which are there, they come with which are playable on Mac as well. And I think that will happen soon. They will do either we'll go into the cloud or maybe I'm in the browser, or it will be supported by Mac, I guess, the next version. And also there is a possibility to use in Mac by using some kind of like parallels or this, where you can install Windows, but I know it's uncomfortable for Mac users to do that, but you can technically use Chessbase on Mac. Anil Kumar, how can I be backer of Indian Chess? Just click on the button join in the home page of, there is a button subscribe and there's a button join. You can click on join and you can be a part of it. Okay, bishop f7, and now this is good compensation. Meanwhile, let's see what happened with Levon and Magnus Carlsen game, because we had left it at this point when he took on b2, rook a b1, he went rook a8, he defended here, rook b1, rook b1, and now came the move bishop e4, attacking the rook. Rook takes a2. Now, a lot of threats in the position, guys. To take on f3, if queen f3, there is rook d2. Quite a lot of things that are under pressure. Okay, and right now this position can go really in black. I think white is the one who has to be careful here. White has to play carefully in this position. Shubham Sadhu Khan says, can you suggest any book about life? About life? I mean, what sort of book do you want? Do you want to be inspired? Do you want a self-help book? Do you want... I always love this book. By the way, Samir Inamdar, 5th member of today, thank you for becoming backer of Indian Chess. If you want a good book on life, you read this. I have been telling about this book often. It's Lying by Sam Harris. It's a very nice book. I like it. Another book that I can recommend you about life is Principles by Ray Dalio. It's a nice one. But it's not about life as such. But yeah, there are principles of life, also principles of work. Oh, look at Magnus. He goes queen g3. Doesn't that blunder a piece after bishop f3? What is white's intention, guys? White to play. What does white want to do here? Phoenix Asimov says, what's the sub goal? The sub goal is 769k. 133 people. Bhagavad Gita, says someone. Read religious books. I'm not into it, so I don't know if they are good, but it's supposed to be interesting. You can read it, but I don't read that. But they say The Alchemist and all of these were interesting, right? Kite Runner by Paulo Coelho. These are good books, interesting ones. Yes. This is the move that you all have been suggesting, and rightly so. In this position, bishop to g5 is the correct move. Kartikeya Rishi, Deba Malya Ghosh, Shubham Goenka, OK, Sudhakar Kuchibotla, Hemant Kumar Minakanti, Tanmay Bhagwat, Dhanay Doshi, Prathamesh, and Trived Kulappa. The move here is bishop g5, attacking this queen and then picking this up. Here, I mean, it's black is doing pretty well. You know, like you will realize that black is the one who is now pawn up after actually giving up so many pawns. So right now, Levon is thinking what to do. But let's also look at the game of Anish Giri. He's now put his bishop on c5. And there is some reason why I think now that black has to remain careful. The reason is, can you tell me what is the reason I think white's position is slightly more stable than before? The best part about chat is that when someone asks which book to read, there are so many suggestions you get. So it's very interesting. Prashik Khandare says, "How can I purchase your chess set?" It's it's there in the description. It's the second link in the description over there, so you can check it out and you can take it from there. So bishop c5. So the thing is that here the reason why I felt that white's position is getting slightly better than before, now it's not, was because his knight is stable and the knight is defending this pawn. Knights usually want stable squares. But here I think what Maxim realized is that if Anish gets his bishop to b3 and rook to c4, he might lose the a4 pawn. So he immediately goes this, rook b1, and now he's like, Anish, let's draw the game. I think there's nothing much left here. I think bishop e6 is possible, or bishop b3 maybe. Bishop b3 maybe knight e4, right? That seems like problematic. So rook b3 perhaps. It seems like uh, black is doing pretty okay. Rook b1. There is also a game between Jan Sistov Duda and Wesley So, which has ended in draw. And Hikaru Nakamura and Vladislav Artemiev are still playing. I like black's position here. Nakamura has space and a very stable knight in the center. Let's quickly go and check what's up with Levon Aronian and Magnus Carlsen. So here, after queen c5, gf3, he went queen d6. Yeah, maybe you can just take, and take here, and it should be a draw here. I think this will end in a draw. Plays bishop f4, e5. Okay. Nice. Its game is like pawns are being traded. Like sometimes white is a pawn up, then black is a pawn up, and so on. Oops, sorry. The live viewer is gone. Once again, I'm bringing it back, the chessboard. Yep, there you have it. Uh, taken on g7. Queen takes g3. Yeah, this looks like a draw now. 2 pawns versus 3. That doesn't seem anything special. That's like a draw. Let's look at Anish versus Maxim. I think this might also end in a draw, but right now white is winning a pawn. Let's see how he manages to hold here. Is Pump Up Your Chess Rating a good book for 1400 lead chess rated players? It's interesting, but maybe slightly higher for you for sure at your level. But you might get it. The entire book might be high level, but some parts would be interesting, like the woodpecker method was first described in that book, and then the entire book was written on it. So you may get some interesting insights there. I like Axel Smith, who's a good writer. लिल गेमर से सागर भाई ओबीएस का बैकग्राउंड चेंज करके कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग रख दो. Okay. Okay, now white has, I don't know if I can change something, but maybe I'll try. How is this? After many days, yeah. Let's put this on. I used to use this heavily. Then we got this one. Maybe I have to then go for something new later. But for now, I like this blue one. So white has this passed pawn, and I feel it's going to be quite dangerous, here. For black, has to be careful. King f7 would be big trouble, I guess. He goes king h7, but king f7, I think knight d6, knight d8. Oh man, look at this. Knight d8, and wherever the king goes, it's trouble, trouble, trouble. Knight c6 and you lose. So king h7, rook a7, h5, knight c5, and h4. Anish is creating his play on the king side, which is good, because otherwise this a pawn might get very dangerous. Dhruv Ravindra, How His Life Imitates Chess. It's a good book by Gary Kasparov. Ronak Agarwal says, Vidit suggests to see live games without engine, sir. Can you remove the bar? I mean, you can do that, and I would highly recommend every ambitious player to look at it. Maybe one round today we can try doing that. If you guys are okay, I'll try to remove the bar for one round, and we will try to guess the moves and so on. By the way, king h6 is black trying to get something in this position. Is white's a pawn stronger? What's happening? Meanwhile, Carlsen and Aronian have just drawn their game. So that's a draw there. So let's have only Anish and MVL on the screen now. No, remove, yes, no, yes, remove, yes. Please do a poll. Remove it. Love you, Sagar Bhaiya. We are okay, sir. No, doing without is definitely better. That's good for only very good players. Don't do poll. Remove the bar. I support suggestion to remove bar. Remove bar. Switch it. Remove. AG better. Remove bar. That's why it's difficult to take this. That's why democracy is difficult sometimes, difficult to make decisions. It was rook c7. Oh, is Anish actually pushing? Is he pushing in this position? Bishop h5 check. Look at Anish focused there. Somehow, white was all the time thinking, oh, my pawn is stronger. But here, maybe there was bishop h5 check, king e3, and then rook b2, starting with rook e2 check and picking up this f2 pawn. So rook c7, rook c4. King e3. Check. Okay, interesting guys. This game is getting interesting. This game is getting exciting with limited material. मतलब देखो, तीन ही pawn है. There's only 3 pawns and totally 6 pieces for each side. Only 12 on the board. King d4. Oh, don't draw, Anish, don't draw. Play on. Because guys, after king e3, there is bishop h5. He can fight because threat is rook e2 and rook takes f2. It's not easy, but they drew. The thing is, here, king e3, bishop h5. How does white actually continue? It's getting very nasty. This check and then pick up f2. So let's say a5, rook e2, king d4, rook f2, a6, rook g2, a7, and now rook a2. And then these pawns are very strong. So I was just trying to push the a pawn and see if that worked, but that wasn't working because Anish comes back, has control over the pawn, and his pawn has now a free route to start moving. But bishop h5, how do you stop rook e2 actually? Because if you play f3, there is rook g2. Maybe knight. Oh, you can't move the knight as well. Yeah, maybe rook c8 with the idea of some checks. Yeah, this might be somehow more accurate way to play a6. And now you can't win this pawn. You have to go back. But still black is pushing. It's, guys, the thing is, in chess, which I have been trying to explain to you many times in my commentary, it's not about this position. A game is a continuing story. Okay. For example, when you see two couples, okay, when you see a couple, not two couples, a couple, two people, and you see them fighting often, you will see them talking like, you do the work in the house, you do the work, no, you are not doing it properly, you do it, or something like that. And you will be like, what are they doing? Why are they fighting like this? They're crazy. They should talk to each other more respectfully. But what you miss there is that it's a continuing story. It might have had some repercussions of like last 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, that there's a story. Same way, this game is a story. What is the game? The story is that Anish is a pawn down and looking for compensation throughout the game. And that story, while it is continuing, has now reached a stage where if you give him this position with a fresh mind, like you bring a fresh person in that two people, like remove one person, bring they will talk nicely. Same way, Anish should be like, oh, bishop h5 works here. But this continuing story is the problem. And here he thought that he was always fighting for a draw and he accepted a draw. There's one game which is still in progress, which is Hikaru Nakamura and Vladislav Artemiev. So let's try and get them on the screen and follow this. Rook h7. Sir, why you did CA if you want to build chess career? That is a good question, but I didn't know, no, at that point I wanted to do this. Okay, the point is if Hikaru moves his king away anywhere, let's say king e6, how is Artemiev going to save his bishop? I think Artemiev is just lost. This is the end of the game, it seems to me. I think Artemiev will resign. Oh, he goes rook b2 and he's trying to threaten a checkmate. But if I go, let's say, rook g2, king f1, rook g7, rook 8 g7. That should be okay, no? Rook 8 g7, rook b8, king f7, rook b7, king f6, and then there is nothing there. Yeah, should win, should win. If rook at 6, you have... he brought the other rook to g7. I'm sure that the other rook was also okay. Okay, this is now, I think Artemiev still trying. I mean, it's always a good idea to try, but here against Hikaru, when you're a piece down, that's not going to work. How do you defend this pawn? Is rook f7 okay? Knight e3 was there. Knight e3, because if f e3, there was rook g1 and rook g2. And you would have lost there. Look at Hikaru there. He has seen all the tactics. You know, that's the nice thing about Hikaru is that check, king d6, rook e4 is a blunder. Why? What's the reason? Let's see how many of you can quickly answer that. Rook e4. He goes rook c2. Why couldn't he take the e4 pawn? Yes, knight c3. Srilata Sinha, Mr. Dum, Faltu Fryer, well done, and resigns. I like how Artemiev, after losing or even winning, he always has this nice smile on the face, and he's always very relaxed. I've met him once in tournament in 2017 World Cup, and he was very, very cool, you know, like I think he was there with his sister, if I'm not mistaken, in that tournament, and he was very relaxed, always talkative, nice guy. So here, instead of this, if rook e4, then knight c3 check, and that is game over. Okay, let's have a look at the standings, shall we? Standings here, and let me check this if it is updated. 1-1 for Wesley Duda, 1.5 for Aronian Carlsen, Radjabov Mamedyarov 1-1, Anish 1.5, Hikaru 1.5 to Artemiev. So that is the situation in the round right now. And guys, before we move on to the next round and we'll see more games, I just want to let you know that there are a few links in the description which you can enjoy with. Firstly, yeah, I'm going to come to this. I want to talk about this, but I want to also mention to you about firstly the chess set, Chess Base India Premium chess set that we have, and it is available in the first link in the description. It comes with a pouch. It also comes with a board. You know, you can roll the board and put it in the bag there. This is how the kings look, the queens, the rooks, the knights, the bishops, and the pawns. You can get it from the first link in the description. Sorry, it's a second link in the description. The first link in the description is Vedika's chocolates, These are available in two options, regular and premium. These are chess themed chocolates. You can see the design of chess on this. Vedika is with its sister. She makes beautiful chocolates. Love them tremendously. They are very nice homemade chocolates. Good for gifting, good for you to eat as well. Third link in the description is Chessbase and Mega Database. If you saw right now, we were just discussing here on this screen with a Chessbase board. What are the positions? This you can do with Chessbase 16. And if you want the biggest database in the world, then you can get the Mega Database, which is here. So that is the third link in the description. More news for you is that Team India won the silver medal at the World Team Championship. It was a brilliant performance by our girls. It was the first ever medal at world stage that Team India has won. Take any Olympiads, take any World Team Championships, India had never won a team medal, and this is the first time, and a silver was won. And you can see the girls there. It was a nice mix of young youth and experience, with Mary Ann Gomes, Tanya, Bhakti, and Harika being quite experienced, and Vaishali just 20 years of age. All of them played very well, and I will be interviewing them one after the other. Today at 8:30, when I was about to begin this stream, Vaishali was in Athens airport and she wrote to me that she has some time, and so I did an interview with her, which you can now find on the Chessbase India channel, where she speaks about her experience of winning. And she's going to Armenia to play a tournament. By the way, in Armenia, we have Rupali, who is also there for the coverage. So you will get some awesome coverage of the tournament from Armenia. Om Tiwari says, Sagar sir, I'm not able to make password in your app. Not able to make password means if you do forget password, it'll come on your email. Maybe check the spam folder if you can't find it. This was Russia winning the gold, India the silver. Guys, how do you feel about this medal? India won Olympiad gold. It was team event. Yes, but Nisarg, in men also we have won open section. We've also won in the Olympiad, but women, just women team hadn't won. Priya Agarwal, Sagar, so will our girls get a welcome? I doubt, because all of them have gone through different routes, it seems to me. I don't think there will be a welcome, because they are all landing in Delhi, maybe. Vaishali anyway went to Armenia. Proud and amazing, ecstatic, proud of them, great achievement. I feel good, the girls tried their best. Yes, they fought very hard, and it was a very honest attempt by all the people involved. By honest attempt, I mean that, the federation does its best to provide the best conditions to the players. Coaches do their best. In fact, Vaishali said that Abhijit Kunte was there strategizing with the team always, and Shyam Sundar back home used to be awake until 2 or 3 in the night to help the girls to prepare. And this is the dedication, and AICF made the best possible arrangements. So that's what I mean by an honest attempt. And this was the picture which she speaks about. It was a great moment, because this is where we won the semi-finals against Georgia and qualified to the finals there. So that is a very interesting. And also, guys, one question to all of you, is this one. Wait. Let me see if I can pull it up. 36 players here. But, one second. How do I get it? Let me do it this here. Who is your favorite team for Chess Super League? Favorite owner from this? Let's see. Is Samay writing another song for CSL? Not CPL, CSL, Chess Super League. Yes, I think not Samay, but some song is going to come, I guess. Arvind Iyer, Sagar, it's frustrating how good Russia is in chess, hai na? Slowly and steadily, we will get there. It takes time to change things, and Russia has been a superpower for many years. So it'll take some time. We'll get there. Mortal says Avinash. Tanmay Bhatt says Pratham Nasir. Raftar says Shashank. Tanmay says Kartikeya Rishi. Bot Army. Aryan Srivastav Mortal. Tanmay. Ronak Agarwal. Biswa. Sai Kiran Reddy. Tanmay. A lot of Tanmay supporters here. Sanya and Suhani, of course. For me, I think it's the most exciting team, Saina Nehwal and Suhani Shah, because firstly, their team is quintessential queens. Both are girls who are the owners. Also in their team, of course, you can guess what is the small element that which player would be in their team for sure. Can you guess? Tomorrow, Govind Mathur, the team's lineup will be announced tomorrow on the official Instagram page. There they will be bringing out one by one, and also at the end of the day I'll be putting it up on ChessBase India. Biswa's crazy night, says Ahmad Ali. Dharmik Vora says कब से start होगा? On 11th October it will start, and team reveal will happen tomorrow. 8 p.m. every day CSL streams. I think tomorrow. Today Samay is in Mumbai, so he said that he won't be able to do a stream, but from tomorrow I think we would do some streams from 8. Oh, Zakir Sakt Londa is his theme, right? Of his, correct. Yes, Humpy. Most likely Humpy would be in their team, no? Because see, firstly, it's a quintessential queens. The owners are women, and also Humpy is the only women player playing in the open section in the entire event. So likely that Humpy would be in their teams, no? I also think that maybe Vidit and Tanmay Bhatt or Zakir Khan would be a good team. Maybe Anish would be in some team. It's going to be exciting. Where is Hikaru Nakamura, in whose team it would be? Will there be owners exhibition match? Yes, on the final day. Before the finals begin, we'll do some sort of exhibitions as well. Moksha says how to manage between chess and studies if you are in ninth. Moksh, maybe it's good that if you can study whenever you have to, and whatever time else you get, you play chess. I think generally you can manage couple of things, but if you have to do like 4 or 5 things together, it becomes difficult. Comedians owning grandmasters, कभी सोचा था ऐसा होगा chess में? I mean, they don't own the GM, they own teams. So I think Hikaru is in Biswa's team. Mayank Singh says. Why, Mayank? Why do you think so? Anish posted yesterday about bot army. Some hints there. Yes. It's true. Polaris Gamer says, who do you think has potential to become next world champion like Magnus? As Nepo is very good, but still there is no one close to the level of Magnus. That is true. I think Firuza very close, young talent. Duda also upcoming, very playing, able to beat Magnus recently. I mean, Caruana is always there. The young generation, maybe all these guys, Esipenko, Nihal, Prague, Nodirbek, they're all rising, at the age of 16, 17, 18, they are all around 20, closing in on 2700 mark. So I think soon, maybe in another few years, but I think for the next at least 3-4 years, Magnus might retain his title, at least for the next 2 matches, it seems to me. All 36 players will play from home. Yes. So these are the 36 players. If you do not know, in the Chess Super League, I made this thing up with all the players. Dingler and see, try your best to guess the players. First one, Ding, Anish, Radjabov. Then we go this way. Vidit, Shashikiran, Sethuraman, top row. Then Hikaru. Next is Karyakin. Then Wang Hao, Kartikeyan, Abhijit Gupta, 5-time Commonwealth champion, Humpy, Ho Yifan, Anna Muzichuk, Maria Muzichuk. They are the strongest two women players in the world. They're sisters. It's amazing. Yeah, from the same family. Humpy, sorry, Harika, Tanya, Bhakti. Next is not easy for you guys, but you should know her. Nana Zagnidze from Georgia, who was playing Harika in the top board at women's team, world team. Koschenyuk, who won the gold for the Russian team. Zansaya Abdumalik, Kazakh team, top board. Mary Ann Gomes, amazing player. Soumya Swaminathan, Isha Karawade, Gukesh, Raunak, Aryan Chopra, Savita Shri, Mrudul Dehankar. These are young girls, very talented. K. Priyanka, Arjun Kalyan, P. Inyan, Harshit Raja, very recent GM of India. We have Arpita Mukherjee, Saina Salonika, and Tarini Goyal. That's the team. 36 players there. Akshay Kumar says, why is Arvind Chidambaram not playing? We approached him, but he was busy. He couldn't make it. Beast is not there. Ahmad Ali says, Sagar, to be honest, I'm not seeing a lot of excitement in team owners as much as I am expecting, because most aren't familiar with the thrill of the game. Hopefully after the league they are. It will happen maybe from tomorrow, and also the league itself would be exciting, you know, so there it'll start to become more and more exciting. Raunak says, how did you manage to get Saina Nehwal? Well, that was, I think, a wonderful feat achieved by the entire team. They approached her, and you know, it was very kind of her to come on board. Okay, guys, time to get it rolling. Next round about to begin. Let's get Magnus Carlsen and Levon Aronian on the screen, and also AG Anish Giri taking on MVL. Okay, all of them on the screen. Let me see if I can get the videos of the players. There you go. All the players here, and about to begin the games. Oh, they drew already. I was like, where is Anish? Anish is like, I have a point lead in the match, so let me draw. Maxime is like, I want to try in the next game as white, so I'm also okay with the draw. Samir Inamda, tomorrow at what time? I think from morning they'll start revealing one by one on the Instagram page. Guys, we have reached 768, 900 subs. Another 99 left for today. Let's try our best. So this is a very well-known draw in the Grunfeld. We've seen it often. In fact, MVL has done it many times with Wesley So as well and other players. So here you sacrifice your queen basically as white at the right time here. Knight d3 takes and check and check and check and check and check and check. Draw. Okay, cool. So that game ended in a draw. That means we can remove them from the screen. AG. Now let's have focus on the game of Magnus. Magnus is fighting. with black pieces. He must win one game against Levon. Levon struck on the first game itself. Now Magnus has to see if he can. So the fianchetto system, castles, knight c3, he plays knight e4, takes. Bishop e3, c5. Wow, what a move. Can't we not? Can we take this? Take, and maybe he wants to take here. That could be his plan. Queen d2 looks like a good move here. Possible to play. Meanwhile, oh, Radjabov suddenly wants to play, huh? Let's get him on the screen then, because Raja and Shak have been drawing their games. Take on c3, pawn takes c3. Okay, guys, bishop a3, rook b1. F5. This position that we have on the screen is quite dangerous. What are the moves that you I have switched off the engine for a few moves? Let's see what you come up with. Threat is f4 because g3. Guys, bar is there, but it is not showing the correct evaluation. So we need to think. Max staff, yeah. G3 makes a lot of sense. BD6, now preparing again F4. What do you play now, guys? Think. We are thinking without an engine. So the moves that come to mind are knight F3 to make space for the bishop. F4 is another move, but doesn't look good after G takes F4 because eventually there would be a check here in the position. See F4, GF, Queen H4. So yeah, F4 is not good. F3 maybe, F4, bishop F2. That is one possibility. What else? Knight B3, maybe another move. What is Raja's score? 1-1, guys. Two draws for him. Garvit says, why not knight b3? It seems like a good move, Garvit, to put the knight on b3. Somehow the knight doesn't have too many good squares to go to. Like c5, it will be taken, or even b6 could be played to take it out from there. So that's why knight f3 looks more in the zone. Like even if he goes g4, I have knight h4. Ronak Agarwal says f3 ruins the pawn structure, but you know, I think f3 is not so bad because you can go back. And then eventually maybe try for e3 or e4 or bg2 castles and then play for e3. Yeah, it doesn't look the best. That's for sure. So thinking here, he's thinking. Okay, here's a question to all of you. What is your evaluation of this position? it shows right now I have not started the engine. So you have to think on your own and then we will check the evaluation. To tell you the truth, I think white position is slightly preferable. That's what I feel. Why? I'll explain to you my thinking. Unless I'm missing something very obvious, my understanding is that after something like knight d2 to c4, the knight would sit very well there. Equal, you say, yeah? Black slightly better. Black looks active as more space. But, I have knight d2, knight c4, and then my bishop goes to f4. So I like this position a lot for white. Yes, I know my bishop is kind of hemmed in, but I think at least a small edge for white. Let's see. Okay, now I start the engine and we'll see. Oh, plus 0.6, plus 0.8. So, yeah, this pin is pretty bad. Like 95 is a big threat. If you play queen c7, then bishop f4 comes. And you never want to play a move like, e5. Because okay, there you can come back or go here, but there is a very powerful move here for white. Can you find it, guys? White to play. Just heard your podcast with Gotham. Only love, says Private. Thank you, Private. That's very kind of you. I'm glad you loved it. It's a nice move here. Think Salil Deogade. Nice, Salil. Let me see how many of you have found the move here. Rook d7. Oh, it's not a bad move. Good idea. I think it should be playable at the very least. It keeps white a small edge as well. But there is a better try here, and which is the move that is being suggested by. One second. Let me. This here. Yeah. This move is being suggested by Salil Devgade, Samir Inamdar, Sumit Puri, Akshay Bhujbal, Anand Nerkar, Tanay Bhagwat, Chiranjit Kuiri, Om Gada, Meg Staff, Adi Adityan. The move is bishop h3 attacking this knight. And white is better here in this position, close to winning. So let me switch off the engine once again. Queen c7. Maybe better to come back to equality first. Rook d1 and then stop engine. So here Christoph Duda is thinking, okay, let's go to another position and try to see what's up. Magnus versus Levon. Okay, here there is a lot of things that have developed, and I think it's a good moment for us to try and use our assessment strength. Black is exchange up, but is a pawn down. His last move was rook b1. Let me just take you through the game and then we'll try to assess the position. d4, knight f6, c4, e g6. We saw this. Knight e4 we saw. Take, take. Bishop e3, c5 we saw. He took. Oh, he took here directly. Okay. I'm not sure about rook b1. I thought, guys, if you want to anyway give up your rook, why not for this bishop, which is more important on this diagonal? So like you could take cd6, here. If you take here, I take here. But maybe he didn't like this position, perhaps. I don't know. He played rook b1, okay, takes. And then he took here. c6 looks scary. He took cd. But maybe c6, there is knight e5. And he didn't like it, so he went takes, knight d4, threatening to come here. I have not yet shifted it to this board. Okay, sorry. Okay, rook c8, knight c6, queen c7, and rook b1. Okay, important moment, guys, here. Does white have enough compensation? I think he should have. I think he has. The reasons which I feel is that a7 is weak. The bishop is controlling a8 indirectly here. Bishop can sit on d5 required. I would give this position as 0.8. What do you think? +1 says Saransh Rao. Similar, yeah, I also feel. Dhanay Doshi says equal. Moksha says I like the move bd4 here. Moksh, but bd4, you don't want to exchange pieces, I think, as white. Bishops are strong. I would say 0.4 or 0.5 says Garvit. Okay. Maybe bishop takes a7 is the next threat. No, Ronak Agarwal, this is not theory. Akshay Bhujbal 0.4, Palash Badwaik 0.5, Shivam Chaudhary 0. So everyone kind of aligned that white is better. Let's see. Oh, it's 1.5, 2.3. What? It's almost 2. That's a huge advantage. Huge advantage, guys. Huge. Okay, let's think what are the possible moves here. There is no bishop b6 because this is hanging. Mayur says white's position is too free. Actually, there is no tactic as such. Shubham Nath says bishop d5. Yeah, bishop d5 looks good. But there's something better. Yeah, think bot. That's nice move. I think knight a7 makes a lot of sense here. Because if you take here, I think I can take with the rook. Now I'm attacking your knight and also, knight and the rook. So you have to go here. And I can come back. And you're lost because the moment you move your rook, it's gone. Okay, so knight a7 was a very powerful move, I guess. But he went here, rook queen takes c7. Okay. Rook takes, knight a5, rook c8. I think if Levon wins, this match is over. That would be epic. Finishing off the match against Magnus in 3 games. Wow. Maybe this is what... Does Levon have some neck problem? I don't know, but he does this often. Guys, everyone do this. If you do this, you will realize you also have some neck pain, yeah? If you haven't done this regularly. Bishop e7. Okay. How do we continue here, guys? How do we continue? By the way, this is a wrong evaluation of the position for now. because once I switch off the engine, it doesn't come back to 0, you know, it stays there. Bishop h3. Feels good, people. All those who don't exercise regularly, they'll be like, oh. Bishop h3 is a move that I'm thinking of. What else? Any other moves that come to your mind, guys? But bishop d5. Oh, he puts his bishop there. Okay, what about knight f6? Does he have something against knight f6? I'm guessing he wants to go bishop b6. Then the rook is kind of trapped. Knight d5. cd. Because I can't take bishop c7. There is knight c7. So cd and rook c1. That is not what I want. So knight f6 I like here. Can Levon play? Can Magnus play knight f6 here? He goes knight c5. Okay, guys, but what about knight f6? I like this move. Bishop b6. Ah, maybe he takes here with the rook. That's the best move here. Keeping control or forcing rook d7. Okay. So he goes knight to c5. Okay. Again, I've stopped the engine now. Ah. I just taking a second break, just trying to get my energy back. What should white play here according to you? What do you think? Try to think here. Knight c6. I think rook c6 is just bad. bd4 was played. King f8. Rook b1. Rook a7. Rook b5. bd8. Oh, is Magnus fighting back here? Is Magnus coming back? So if I go like knight c6, there is rook a2. But I could go bishop c3. Then I'm a bit worried about knight a4. Yeah, Garvit, you're right. The a2 pawn is hanging. Actually, how do we defend the a2 pawn? That's a big question here. Some trouble brewing up, yeah. Like, I don't know. Maybe knight b3. Oh, he goes knight c6. But now take here. I took bishop c5 for rook c. Is rook c5, dc5, bishop c5? I don't think that's enough. Takes on c5 here. Ah, rook. Oh, rook b7 was the move. Oh, taking here. rook c6, bishop c6, rook e2. And I think Magnus somehow managed to get equal position. Somehow. But maybe still white is better, no? After bishop d5, but there is bishop e7. Should be equal then. Check, king g7. Oh, he goes rook. Ah, he pins it there. Okay. King e7. Yeah, king e7 looks okay. I think king e7 should be fine. Yeah, should be around equal. Maybe 0.3 now. Yes. 0.3. Oh, 0.3. Perfect evaluation of the position. White is slightly better, but not good enough to win or get even an advantage. So draw incoming here. Okay, let's go to Radja's game. Here, Radja here, I said that f4 was not possible, but he anyway played it. Take, take. And what about queen h4 here? I think he was okay with this. Take here. But I thought this is bad. But maybe there is e3. What's the move here? Bishop. Maybe bg2. Or maybe bg3. Maybe bg3 is the move. Okay, so he didn't go there. He went queen e7. Then Radjabov played bishop f2. He gave up a pawn. Rook g1. b6. Knight to f3. bd7. Bishop h4. Queen e6. c4. Okay. And this is the position on the board right now. Okay. Guys, these are the positions without engine. They are very tough to understand, very tough to calculate. But if we focus, we can do it. So Radjabov versus Mamedyarov. If you take on c4, what is wrong here? Can anyone tell me? What is bad? Why does white win here? Let's go. Yeah, Mamedyarov always plays. Oh, Salil Devgade, BG3's mate. Oh my god. Guys, I made a huge blunder. Did you guys see it? Did you see that? Okay, first of all, let's just check this one, but I'll come back. I think I made a huge blunder. So the move that was suggested, sorry guys, there was a small lag because of my switching of scenes. Sometimes this error comes up, but I'm back in within like 10 seconds. D5 is attacking these two pawns, and that is the right move as recommended by Vijay Borale, Vishwas Sudhakar Repale, Salil Devgade, Shivam Chaudhary, Shardul Bhusari, Tushar K, Aditya Mutagi, Rahul Agarwal, Dhanay Doshi, Anand Nerkar. Okay, so here the move that I missed and which was very well spotted by Salil Devgade is bishop f2, queen f4, and I was suggesting the move bishop g3. And that was a horrible blunder. Do you see, guys, why is this a blunder? Do you see this? Why is this a mistake? Look at Mamedyarov has such a big jug to get water. Yeah, well spotted by Salil. Take, take, and checkmate. Oof, that would have been brutal. So my question is, why didn't Shakhriyar do that? Why didn't he give a check and take this? Actually, it's the best idea there. Check on h4 was not a bad idea. Bishop f2. takes, and yeah, bg2. That was another move which I had recommended, and then next move bg3. Okay, some compensation, but black was doing very well. He went queen e7, and he took with the bishop here. Rook g1, b6, knight f3, bd7, bishop h4, queen e6, c4, and now came the move rook g8. C takes d5, okay, queen takes, rook g8, queen g8. Now if you see here, I don't have a good square for this bishop right now. I want to develop it, but e3 loses a pawn to bishop e3. Is there some bishop e3, queen e2 business? Queen is... you can long castle anyway. No, you can't long castle. There's a bishop here. So you can't long... Sorry, bishop stops long castling. So queen e6, then d5. Interesting, guys. Interesting. So did he play e3? Oh, he played e3. He played e3. Wow. Wow, he played e3. Anish is 2-1 leading in the match. First game he won, then 2 draws. Carlsen has won the tournament, but the tournament still goes on. Guys, this is the trick here that Radjabov has been, I think, is banking upon. But don't you have f4 here? So what's his idea? Queen e2, f4, maybe knight e4. Oh, he took because queen e2 there was f4. I was counting on queen e6 d5, and then I can take this, but he went anyway d5. This is crazy position now. Think. Where will the knight go? If knight e5, there is knight e5, free knight. Doesn't work. Knight d4 also doesn't work. It's a free knight. So the knight might... e7 looks wrong. Knight a5 looks okay to me. How about d5 then e3? Max Stuff says. Oh, knight e7. This doesn't look good, right? But I think Shakriyar says I'll just take here with my knight if you go queen e2 business. But what about take? Okay, that doesn't work, right? Okay, let's think. Let's be sharp. Take, d6, pawn takes. He goes knight e5. Now this check is coming in. Guys, the position is heating up like anything. Long castle, bishop e7, rook e8. That shouldn't work. But how is it actually? Long castle. Also, what about queen takes d5? Queen d5. Oh, he takes it. But now, can I take and play rook d1? At the very least, he has c6. Okay. Queen h5 looks the most enticing. And queen h5. If king f8, that shouldn't be good for sure. Can't be good. Takes on d7. What is he doing? Knight d7. Okay, if I take king d7. I think queen d7, queen h5 looks dangerous. Takes... okay, queen h5, knight g6 maybe. So can't do that. Oh, how about LPDO, queen f3? There is queen d2 mate, don't forget. Those are the mates you shouldn't miss. You shouldn't miss. Salil Devgade, thank you for becoming booster of Indian chess. 6th member today. All the money that we get from memberships goes to uh, chess players to help them improve at chess. Okay. King e8. Now what to do? Should we go bishop g2? Attack the rook. I think Radjabov didn't play this well. He seemed to have compensation. By the way, what happened to Magnus Carlsen? Did he draw that game? I think it was anyway ending in a draw, right? They drew. They drew. But meanwhile, Radjabov goes bishop c4. Let's look at his face. He is 3 pawns down. That is definitely something to worry about. Levon has a point lead over Magnus. Magnus in a must win with white next game. Bishop c4. Okay. Knight g6, okay. Bishop f6. Oh, this is just lost. I mean, I would give this as -2 at least. Yeah, -2 is the correct. Just to go through the game quickly and see where were the moments where he could have played better. Because I thought white was getting something here. e3. Maybe e3 was not correct. Takes d5. Oh, knight e7 was the only move. Because if knight a5, we need 2 f4 and knight e5 was strong. Or directly knight e5 was even stronger. I like knight. I think knight e7 was very good. Okay, here queen d5. And we were thinking of queen h5 here. But there is knight g6. Knight takes g6 is met with queen d2 mate. Oh, oof, oof. Rook d1 with queen e5. That also doesn't work. So he took on d7. And now queen d7 was played. There was queen a5. Oh my god. That's not easy. Queen a5 check. King e2. And long castle. That's like impossible to do. d7 and attacks here and attacks here. But okay, queen d7 was good. And if you play queen h5, there is knight g6, I guess. Yeah. So to take rook d1, king e8, bishop c. Yeah, I think Raja might lose this. It is, I think, interesting that when you're facing a player like Radjabov, it's a good idea to play complicated positions like what Mamedyarov did right now. Because that's just what Raja is not comfortable with. Yeah, Levon drew. Levon drew. Okay. How about now? I think this will win. Let's go to Nakamura's game and let's try to assess that position without an engine. This is showing equal right now, but that's not because I've switched off the engine. Who is better and why? At first glance, to me, it looks like black is way better. Way better. Why? I'll tell you. Isolated pawn, rook beautifully placed, knights well placed. I would say black is definitely +1 here. +1 for black. Pawn up also. I didn't see one pawn up. So I think over, yeah, +2 maybe then. Let's see. Yeah, plus, I mean, it's -1.5 or 1.7, correct. So Artemiev is going to strike back. He always strikes back. Okay, let's do one last assessment without an engine here. Who's better? Who's better according to you guys? He just played rook d4. I get the feeling that this position is slightly better for black. The reason is that if you can't checkmate the black king, these pawns with more space, maybe it's equal. Maybe it's equal. What do you think? White is better as black's king is weaker? I don't think so. This is not easy to assess. Not easy to assess. Position is okay. He's going to come here to attack queen d5. Yeah, that's what black wants to exchange queens. Can I take rook b5, rook takes, pawn takes? That doesn't work because then the black king is outside. So I think what would have happened is if he would have taken here instead of king g2 takes, he would have taken here and maybe he would have gone this. And I think this is fine. So he goes king g2. Okay, let's see who's better here. Here. It's equal. Very equal. Maybe slightly tending towards black. It was equal, this position. Okay, not bad, guys. Not bad. We are all good players here. We're all good. We understand chess a little bit. Not much, but a little bit. Okay, rook b5. Draw incoming, guys. Draw incoming. Let's quickly go to Shakhriyar Mamedyarov versus Radjabov game. Raja is fighting, huh? But Raja has only 16 seconds left. C5. Rook b7, knight c4. If you take here, there is knight a3. So bishop b8, king e6. Oh my god. Is he losing material? Look at Shak. He's not happy with this. What has happened? He's thinking here, king e6, bishop f4. Can he go rook g4? Okay, Timur is thinking what to do next. Goes bd3, rook f4. Goes into the rook endgame. So he knows this will be a draw. King d5. Maybe rook b6 cutting. It should be a draw here, but it's some effort. Yeah, the main thing is I once played this endgame and I had lost it because when my opponent came from here and gave me a check, yeah, a3 is very good move. Very good. Take it. It's done. Now you come back. Come back. Put your king here and play the Philidor. Maybe this might go into a slightly unfavorable version of the Philidor for white. But Temur will know his stuff here. Like, I'll tell you why unfavorable, because he may not be able to get the third rank here. So here after king c4, he would have to go back to the last rank. And the right move, I think, is just put the rook behind the pawn. Just safe. It's safe. Yeah, even taking the long side is okay. Check. It is the easiest actually, because now you will come here. Guys, this position is known as the Philidor's defense. Why is this Philidor? Because you put your rook on the third rank. Now don't move the rook away. Just move it here, here. He gives a check. The important point is now you come back. King can't come forward, so he has to push the pawns, and now you go back and start checking. Don't go back when the pawn is here, because see, if the pawn was here and you went back, then the king has a shelter from checks on c3 here. When you give him a check, he can go in front. The moment he pushes, first you come here, cut him off, so he must push the pawn. Shelter is gone, then you go back and then draw. Okay, so Philidor's position. Did you learn the Philidor's position? Does anyone want any analogies or something? By the way, a big save by Temur actually. He was in big trouble there. Pawn comes forward, umbrella is lost. Okay, I can explain it this way. So the king here is walking, is a little kid. Okay, the little kid has an umbrella here, and this is the rain. So the rain, okay, wants to come here and start pouring on the little kid. The little kid runs away. Now again there is rain. So the little kid says, I have umbrella. So now the rain is like, I can't let the little kid run away. I need to be careful how I pour water on him. If I go here, then the little kid will come here, and if I give rain from here, the little kid will use his umbrella, and I don't have any more rain on the king, on the kid, sorry. And so it's going to be trouble. So what I will do is, I will wait here. And now, when the little kid can't come here because there is rain already there, he will have to push his umbrella forward. He's put it forward so that now he can move forward here. Then I will go from behind, and there is no umbrella for the kid because it went forward. शाह नवाज says मैं तो रेन में बाहर ही नहीं निकलता. Okay, got it. Guys, will you remember Philidor's position? Now forever. Remember the little kid, rain and umbrella. Okay, let's go to let's go to Artemiev versus Nakamura who are playing. The only two guys who are playing here. Ashar Call says Sagar sir genuine request to keep all CSL commentary in pure English to allow international audience. Yeah, most likely that would happen. Swapnil Telang says I did not understand but will definitely use umbrella. Okay, this one. What? Somehow Nakamura has managed to get a position where he's no longer like so worse. He's fighting. It wasn't. That wasn't. I was thinking King C2, Rook E3, King D2, but then there's King D4. So King D2, FG, HG, Bishop B3. But Knight C2 now. Knight takes C2, Bishop, Knight C2, Rook A2. King D3, Bishop C2, Rook C2, Rook C2, King C2, King D4, F5. Yeah, you can play Knight C2. No, this is easy to hold. Knight C2. The main point is Rook A2, King D3, Bishop C2, Rook C2, Rook C2, King C2, King D4, F5. Yeah, it's drawn now. You take here, I take here, you take here, I reach here. All that I have to do is I have to reach H1. Then it's drawn. Dhananjay Sinha, in chess, there is something concept called as increment, where after every move you get 10 seconds increment. That's what happened, and that's why the time was increasing. Okay, good. I think we saw these matches with a little bit of engine, little bit of without it. It was great fun, I think. Did you guys like it? Did you guys enjoy watching these games? 790, 937, guys. If you're enjoying this commentary, please do like the stream, please do subscribe. Let's reach 796k, and let's have a look at the scorecard before the last round. Wesley and Duda, 3 draws. Levon has 2-1 lead. 1 point. Magnus has to fight back. Radjabov, Mamedyarov, draw again. 1.5, 1.5. 2-1 for Anish Giri. 769. Sorry, not 796, 769. 2-1 for Anish and 2-1 for Hikaru. Hikaru was almost lost there. I don't know how he managed to save himself. That was a big result there for Hikaru, and also Radjabov. Both dodged bullets there. Also, I want to just show you the standings of this event so that you know what is happening. The standings are Magnus Carlsen. So every win you get 3 points if you win in the rapid. So even if Wesley wins both his matches in the rapid now, he reaches 27.5 only. So Magnus has won the tournament. Wesley 21.5, Radjabov 21. Radjabov may finish second if he plays well. which would be quite impressive. Levon 18, Hikaru 16, MVL 13 and a half, Artemiev 13 and a half, 11 and a half, Anish, Duda 11, Mamedyarov 9 and a half. I think this will be the last game for today, and then there will be tie breaks. But most likely, I will not commentate on the tie breaks. I'll finish this today so that I can get ready for tomorrow as well. Um, Please suggest, guys, suggest one good movie. Pranav says. Mm, I don't know. I think The Walk was good. I liked it recently. I also saw a documentary called The Challenger. Have you seen it, guys? The Challenger. It's about the space shuttle which went, um, which exploded in 1986. It was my birthday, 28th of Jan. I wasn't born, but so I remember. The Prestige is a good movie. So many nice options now. Is Queen's Gambit worth watching, Rian Patil? Yes, it's worth watching, of course. So many new movies I'm reading. The Big Short I haven't seen. The Imitation Game I think I have. Gravity, Amruta has seen it. I haven't yet. Mulholland Drive I haven't. Andaz Apna Apna and Anand. That's also interesting. Anmol Srivastav says, saw your podcast with Levi. It was so good listening to you for 2 hours straight. No, even Levi speaks. Yeah, it's not just me. Yeah, maybe that's also a possibility. You can watch the podcast with Levi. It's also like a movie, 2 hours of it. Knives Out. Okay. Groundhog Day. Or you can watch all the opening traps, 60 of them for 3 4 minutes. That's like a movie. No, there's one more game left today. We'll start in a minute. Let's get Anish and MVL on the screen. Yeah. I think already the players would also be tired. It's a long, long event. Oh, the games have begun. Oh, they played this thing again. Anish is playing his favorite town. Like looks like the Petrov. It's the Petrov defense. Okay, let's go. Let's go, guys. Let's focus on the game. E4, E5, knight F3, knight F6, D4. Oh, he didn't take this time. He win this. Anish took. Pawn takes D5, knight D2. And what's this move? What? is this move by Anish? Anish Giri is this grandmaster. If you give him any opening and some time, he will find so many novelties in it. I don't think Queen D7 has been played so many times. Let's have a look at it on our chess base board, shall we? Because this is such a weird move. So e4, e5, knight f3, knight f6. As you can see here, behind me the games and moves are populating. d4, take, take, d5, knight b d2. Oh my god. Oh my god. Look at this. Knight d2, 264 games. Knight c5, 186. Bishop e7, 85. But he goes queen d7. Oh, it has been played many times. Yeah. Okay. Caruana, 17 games, but Caruana has played it. So Anish didn't find it. He remembered it. And he had prepared for it. Nice. Queen e2. Okay, let's also look at Magnus versus Levon. Magnus has to must win situation. And look at what Magnus has done. He's played d4 and f6, c4, e6, knight c3, bishop b4. And he said, now you take. He took and he played b6. Oh, it's interesting, guys. So what I have learned overall in the Nimzo, by the way, one of my favorite openings, I love the strategic nature of this opening, is that for the doubled pawns, now black's idea is to go bishop a6, put pressure here. So most likely, let's say white will go f. Let's make some moves. f3, bishop a6, e4. And then you go knight c6. And your idea is knight a5, putting more pressure here. So he might go bishop g5. And then the move again, which is played often, is, let's say, first we play h6, bishop h4, is often like queen c8 also possible. And then the queen comes like this and puts pressure here. f3 played by Magnus. Interesting. I'm very keen on this. And knight c6 by Levon. e4 gains the center, d6. So it's bishop pair versus these weaknesses here. Let's see who comes out on top. Okay, now Magnus Carlsen thinking what to do here. Should he go bishop d3? Should he play knight e? What, knight h3 he played? Okay. He's played his knight to h3. And now I think Levon, bishop a6, maybe there is some issue, right? Queen a4 should be over. So he goes knight a5 first. Bishop a6 is a problem. Piece blunder. Because of queen a4 attacking here and here. If you go back, what's the issue? Guys, find the winning move for white. Remember, a pinned piece must be attacked. Would white have to sacrifice c4 pawn to maintain balance? No, most likely he will play queen bd3, queen e2. D5. Dhanay Doshi, Shibi Binoj, World of Wit, Tomato, Dil Se YouTuber, Cardio Toxic, Manthan Singh Bari. Well done, guys. D5, and you win a piece. So, knight a5 is the correct move. And now Magnus might go bishop d3, bishop a6, queen e2. And here I remember there was this interesting idea. One is to go c5 so that you can play rook c8 and then put more pressure on c4. The other idea is to maybe go queen d7 with the idea of putting the queen on c6. That's also an interesting one. No, not on c6, first on a4. If he doesn't play, and if he plays a4, then on c6. Something like queen d7, a4, queen c6. And if he plays d5, you just maybe come back to d7 or b7. And then, like, you can rotate. Guys, do you see this? This entire concept of how putting pressure here. So actually, it's like this. White, by the way, here Magnus after bishop a6 goes rook b1. White has problems in life. This is his c4 pawn. It's a problem. Now, if you focus a lot on the problem, you will be always sad. And see, Levon is very smart. He's coming here. He's putting pressure. Magnus has to find a way to kind of distract himself from his problem, like queen a4, there's rook b4, and start creating his own play here in the center and on the king side. It's very important. Levon is drinking something, huh? Meanwhile, also the game of Anish versus MVL has reached an interesting point. I think Anish has a great position. The way Anish is doing well in this Petrov is very cool. B6, H5, knight e6, knight b3. Yeah, very comfortable position. I think now knight d4 is one, like d4 maybe. Even d takes c4. This is really bad. He goes f6. Also nice move. Queen d3. But now push. I think Anish, who has a 2-1 lead in the match, is going to end this today without going into the tie breaks. So how about all the matches? Okay, let's look at it. Firstly, Wesley So versus Jan Sistov Duda. They're playing this Queen's Gambit decline bishop f4 line, which should be around equal. White has some pressure usually. So maybe this will go into tie breaks. Radjabov versus Mamedyarov. 1.5, 1.5. This could go into tie breaks. By the way, c5 by Levon. He's played it. He wants to put more pressure here. He goes queen a4. Because c5, he wanted to stop rook here. Man, guys, this is heating up. I think Magnus may be able to win this and then force tie breaks. What should Magnus do here? Any suggestions? Why is Magnus laughing? Maybe some lyrics, huh? He's just enjoying himself. Okay, guys, white to play. What to play? Shri Kumar EH. Shibij Binoj. Shibi Binoj. Sad alone, knight goes bishop f4. You know, this move, e5, was worth trying. Because after DE, knight d7, knight f2, bishop takes c4, queen e4. Now you're pinned this way and also you're attacking here. You can't castle because queen h7 is a mate. So rook b8, let's say you move your rook. Queen g4. I think white gets a lot of play here. So this should have been something thought of, because bishop f4, attacking here. Now maybe rook d8 is what Levant may do. Or even knight takes c4 is possible. See, Anish Giri's position is so beautiful. So beautiful. He plays f6, queen d3. And you can see Anish very, very focused. d4 takes, knight c1. I mean, the tournament has not gone so well for Anish overall. So he must be itching for. How about queen f5 attacking the bishop, knight c2? Seems interesting for sure. But knight c2 may, I think it can get trapped. Like I go queen f5, bd2, and I go knight c2 here, and I don't see what the knight is doing here. So yeah, queen b3. Let's see what he comes up with. I think Anish can play knight dc6, and then if a3, knight f5, almost trapping the queen, almost. Queen d1 and knight c6. Okay, he goes d3. Nice. He wants to give a check here. Interesting. But is that check important? Like a3, knight c2, king d2? Harshul says, I can't comprehend how quickly chess has become part of my life. Such a beautiful game. Very cool to know. Oh, what is this 96? Attacks the bishop here. So you can't take here because f4 is hanging. What is your chess story, guys? Basically, like, how did you guys, I mean, how important is it a part of your life right now, chess? Just maybe in a few words you can write. Bishop e3, knight c2. Now you can play this and take this, no, bishop? At, at the very least. Shay Bhujbal says, playing since childhood best. Many of you are saying you learned it from Samay and got it from Samay. Yeah. लंबी कहानी है मेरी असली में फालतू फ्रायर says. Very important when I take break, says Arjun Verma. Okay. Chess is stress buster for me. Mohammad Zishan says. Playing for relaxing, Anil Solanki. Harsh Gulati says I should organize a tournament. Okay. Anuj Gabriel, a means of entertainment and also gives situation that seems like real life. KGP says can't focus on it due to my job, but play at least one game every day, more on weekends. Nice, nice. Motivation to do better in life, says Ankita Jain. That's very cool. Even 94 now, guys. Let's look at this. 94, queen d3. How should this work? I don't think it's easy to spot this. I think more human here would be to take on e3 and then fe3, and then somehow, but then you're losing your d3 pawn. Knight d3 is coming. So let's see how Anish continues here to king d2. He's thinking. Meanwhile, Magnus's game after bishop f4, Levon Aronian has played his rook to d8, defending the d6 pawn. He took and played e5. Wow. Magnus making some very dangerous strategic decisions because rook d8 he wants to take. Then I take back. Maybe he wants to play d5. Now, yeah, take back and now d5 perhaps. That's what his idea is. What's his plan? Because d5 I have bishop takes c4, I believe. D takes c5, I have bishop takes c4 once again. It seems like it's going to be the critical moment of the game right now. What should Magnus Carlsen do? His c4 pawn is under pressure from 3 pieces. This is a very good example of a Nimzo Indian game. Typical Nimzo Indian. C4 weakness versus, and Magnus has created play in the center, by pushing e5 and not letting black pieces get time here. Because when you have like pieces on one side of the board, what you are missing is play on the other side. Like your king is lonely. So Magnus has to take advantage of that. But d5 doesn't seem right because of bishop c4. And you can't play d6 because of bd3. So, and then the rook is attacking here. Let's also look at Radjabov's game and also let's get him on screen. Radja versus Mamedyarov. All of a sudden, they have started fighting. He went knight cd4, queen d3. Queen c6 by Anish. Anish realizes that he can get his rook to d8. Oh, he goes d5. But this is a blunder by Magnus. Magnus has just blundered his pawn with d5. Let's see what his reaction will be when Levon takes on c4. Sorry. शशांक से सागर सर आपका चैनल होम पेज पे शो नहीं हो रहा. आई थिंक यू नीड टू ऐड सम टैग्स मे बी. अच्छा. He takes on c4. Queen e4. That was Magnus's idea. What if I go rook d5 now? Rook d5. I think Magnus simply missed rook d5 in this position or what? Knight f4 maybe then. That's what he wants to do. Rook d5, knight f4. Rook d5, knight f4. Here I can go back. Okay, check, then I can go back here. Or there is also a possibility of playing f5. Just a second, guys. Oh, it has happened. Knight f4 has happened in the game. Magnus is just creating pressure on Levon. See, my hair is actually covering Levon, yeah? Let's look at Radjabov's game. Yeah, Radjabov. Radjabov. I think Raja is slightly worse. It's around equal. Maybe it's around equal. Yeah, it's 1.5, 1.5. So this might go into a tiebreaker. Let's see, 7. E4. But it could also be that anything could happen here. Also, Hikaru is a point up in the match and has a good position. Maybe Artemiev slightly better. As always, Artemiev plays English and gets interesting positions, and he's slightly better here. So perhaps he can strike back. Anish seems to be on course to victory. It seems like, Anish's last move was bishop g5, and he very carefully calculated that here take, if knight e2 d3, if rook e2 queen g2. Nice, 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 nice. King d1, d3, knight d3, rook d8, or maybe knight d3, queen d3, rook d8, protected by the bishop. Seems good, seems good. Anish has to find the move d3 here. Will he? Will he find this move? He's really leaning in. He wants to find it. Meanwhile, Levon Aronian is trying to. Oh, he plays f5 the moment we go here. f5. Magnus Carlsen's pin is now broken, so he goes back to e3. Can we take this? But then he takes on d5, and then f1 is hanging. Bishop d3, knight d5, bishop f1. Here is a winning move for white. Wow. White to play. And can you find the winning move? Guys. Oh, Anish took on f3. But first here. Okay, sad alone. Thank you for your message. I read it. Not knight f6. Knight f6 does not help much. Here, knight f6, king e7. Garv Kamra, I use Logitech G304. Queen e5, guys. Attacking the rook on h8. This is very tough move. Very tough move. And the rook g8 is met with knight f6. Rook f8 is met with queen b8 check. And check and mate. So somehow just queen e5 is killing you. Oh, meanwhile, Anish has managed to reach a position which is not at all clear, but he needs just a draw, so it's fine. He first took on f3, gf3, d3, knight d3, queen f3, queen e2, queen d3 takes, check, king here. And now the rook is so powerful, he's actually attacking all the pawns, and I don't see how Anish is going to. Okay, maybe he takes here, check, sorry, first. King c2, okay. Knight c4, takes here. And now bishop e7. Okay, he's still under control. He just needs a draw, so most likely he will get it. Yeah, he's still thinking king g8 or bishop here. I think king g8 makes a lot of sense or not. No. Yeah, it does. It does. Because king g8, check here. You can't go here. This will hang. So you go here. Rook here on c7. But knight a3. Remember, there's a mate here. So you have to... Sorry, here. Mate. Oh, this happened. This has happened. Guys, whatever I was just playing and I was showing has happened. And now it's a draw because you may win this pawn back, but then my king comes, and I mean, I'll just 2 versus 1, 2 pawns versus 1, and a bishop versus rook. It's a draw. You put your bishop here, put the pawn on g5. Just make sure your king is not cut off on the last rank. Okay, he should be able to handle this. Meanwhile, Magnus Carlsen has gone queen e5 in the position. Levon rightly playing his rook to d7, not getting tempted by my move bd3, knight d5, bishop f1, queen e5. He doesn't miss that. He goes rook d7, now queen e5, rook to f8. Nice defensive play by Levon. And Levon is showing that, well, the Nimzo Indian is a very, very resilient opening. You can't just blow it away. You can't just break in Magnus and think that, oh, you can checkmate me. Mohit TS, thank you for becoming a member. Very kind of you. For becoming a supporter of Indian chess. Oh, nice. Dhruv Ravindra. If you ever take some pictures of the kids when they're playing in the society, please send it to us. chessbaseindia@gmail.com. That would be very nice. No, knight h5 doesn't work because I'll take bishop d3, knight f6, king e7, knight d7, maybe queen d7. And then rook d1, I have c4. Bishop will be safe. Oh, he takes on f5. Okay. Although it's very clear that black is better. Look at this, bishop e6. Magnus going all in. All in. He's attacked the rook. Bishop takes e6. F takes e6. Levon is like, I know everything now. Wow, 96. Okay, let's think carefully, guys. Let's think carefully. Now this knight wants to give a disco. Let's see if I check and wins the queen. So how should we continue? Knight c6. And Levon Aronian is so quick to spot these defensive ideas. Attacks the queen. Now where to go? Queen h5 check. King e7. Queen h5 check देंगे यहाँ पर. rook f7. And actually we are one knight for one knight, one queen for one queen, one rook for one. Oh, this happened. Rook e1. Magnus is just playing this like a casino, roulette game. Like, let's spin the dice, let's see if something happens. Rook e7, knight c7, king d8. Wakar Yunus, don't you think Magnus is exhausting himself too much before the championship match against Nepo, where Nepo has just withdrawn from all the events? True, but yeah, I think it's a good point. I mean, but for Magnus, this tournament was slightly important, I think, because it's his tour, his company. Play Magnus. By the way, resignation there on the screen. Magnus Carlsen has resigned and Levon Aronian has won it. He's beaten Magnus 3-1, just like how Radjabov did yesterday. Very nice. In spite of losing two back-to-back games, Magnus is, still leading comfortably. What happened with Anish actually? Anish drew. Oh, nice. So Anish won after quite some days. Nice. Yes, yes, yes. Anish drew. So that means Anish has won, MVL has lost. Let's go to Radjabov's game. Yeah, and to complete that question, I think it was important for Magnus to play these events because it was his own company doing it. And secondly, I think he still has 50 days. 24th November is when the events begin, like the World Championship. And I think 50 days is a good enough time to unwind, to get into the groove. Let's go to Mamedyarov versus Radjabov game. Mamedyarov seems to be positionally looking great. He's a pawn down, but look at the white pawns. They are weak. And if one of them falls, they will give black even more chances to attack these weaknesses. But for now, knight wants to come here. I think at some point, you could go like knight e3 to d5, takes and pawn takes, and you just straighten out all your pawns. Also, just note that rook e5 is not possible. It's possible here. Rook e5 is possible. c5, okay. Oh, there is a sacrifice that has happened in the game between Hikaru and Artemiev. He just took here. Knight c4, he took on h2, king h2. Is it going to be mate, guys? Check. King here, rook h6. Let's get Hikaru on the screen. He must be calculating really hard here because he needs to win this. Hikaru versus... I mean, a draw also will be okay for Hikaru. He has a point lead. But the problem is that after rook h6, white has a defensive move. Can you find it, guys? White to move. White to play. It looks like a mate, but it isn't. Tushar Sanpal, Pratham Sachdev, it's interesting. Himansh Batla, you are right. So there are two moves, f3 and f4. Both lead to differing results. f4 is the correct move because then the king can escape if you give a check here. But f3 is not so correct because of the move f4. It's not simple, but the point is that if you take ef4, I have e3. I want to control f2 square, and if you are going to play fe4, then also I think I have fe3. It's a queen e4, queen h2, king here, check, king here, and rook h2. Oh, that's also dangerous here. So I think taking here seems right. But then e3, e3 is knight e3. But here queen h2, king f2, he takes f3, bishop f3. It's a complicated position. But Hikaru knows that f4 is better, so he goes rook g6. I mean, to tell you the truth, this position might be totally winning for white, but it does look scary. There is rook g2 in the air, some queen h3 ideas. Also, draw is not good. Let's quickly check what's up with Radjabov. Radjabov snatched the pawn on e5 and quickly ran back to e7. The problem now is knight c4. And what happens is that the queen is kind of cut off because of this rook. And knight c4 really takes away other squares from the queen as well. I think Shakhriyar Mamedyarov is going to take this home. Look at Radjabov's focus, guys. Look at his focus. Both from Azerbaijan, both very good friends of each other. But on the chessboard, there is no friendship. Meanwhile, Duda and Wesley So have drawn. They are going into the tie breaks. 4 draws today. Artemiev really worried here because he's very close to victory, but also his king is under siege and he has just 2 minutes 47 seconds left. Also, guys, 768, 961 subscribers. We are 39 subscribers away from today's goal. Please do subscribe. Oh, and look at Mamedyarov's move. Knight to f5. It's typical Mamedyarov sacrifice. He just loves to play it this way. I think he takes here. Radjabov is like, okay, I'm going to take it. Gf5. And now rook to e5. Good move. Putting the rook here, stopping this f pawn from moving forward and pinning two of his pieces. What is Shakhriyar's plan now? He's given up a piece. He needs to keep the attack going. Why did he give up the piece? Does he want to go like queen g3 with the idea of f6? That seems to be on his mind. Oh, meanwhile, Hikaru Nakamura has managed to, let's say after rook g6, knight e5, he went rook h6, f3. Oh, and Hikaru could have played this f4 idea which we were talking about. It's not easy to spot. He went queen g3 and now knight f7 is incoming. Yeah, knight f7. Rook h2. And now bishop c4. Yeah, that's what I think Hikaru might have missed here. And the point is that if bishop c4, queen h4 to mate him here on h1, you have knight h6 check, King f8. Check. King e8. Check. And it's over. Oh, he goes knight g5 check. Artemiev is even simpler, yeah. He's just going to block with knight to h3. And that's why Hikaru Nakamura resigns the game. Artemiev has won it and has forced tie breaks there. Hikaru Nakamura played well, but not well enough. And Artemiev, as always, making a comeback. Strong, strong player. Amazing player. Let's look at this game now. He went queen g3, king h8, and rook h6. So his idea is to put her queen on h4 and checkmate him. Radjabov has only 25 seconds to figure out what to do here. Mamedyarov looks very, very confident about his chances in this position. He's piece down, but oh, bishop f5, boom. What a move by Temur. ef5, what's his plan? Queen e7. And Radjabov is like, what? How can this be okay? f6, what's his plan to f6? Queen takes c5, check. King h1, knight e6. Man, Radjabov is playing like a machine here. What a precision in defense. Queen e7. f6 takes, gives a check. Mamedyarov is still not clear. Like, he's like, what's happening? Can I go king h1, knight e6? Guys, look at this defense, no? Knight e6, queen h4. I want to checkmate you, but then you go knight f8. And then you defend it this way. Just amazing. Mind-blowing. Did this happen? Did this happen? No, I don't think so. Oh, it happened. Queen h4 has happened. And I think Radjabov is going to play knight f8. There's also knight g5. So he has both the moves to defend the h7 square. Knight g5, okay. And all of a sudden, queen f2. Mamedyarov is like, let's exchange the queens. And when you make a move like this, you are unhappy when you are an attacker. You don't enjoy this move like queen f2. It's like saying to your opponent, you defended well, I was unable to break in, so I am agreeing to a draw. Yeah, Shashank, I think so. Very likely that Radjabov might take the second spot. It's important for him to win this game and get 3 points. But right now, 94 is the killer shot, guys. He's just missed it. I think 94 and Radjabov has lost. I mean, Mamedyarov has lost. Radjabov seems to be winning. 94, bishop, queen is attacked. If bishop e4, that is rook h5. Super focused. And now queen d6. Ooh. Brutal. And that is disappointment for Shakhriyar Mamedyarov. King g1. How do you finish it off? Queen d4. Or just rook g8. Knight to g3, 4 king. But there is queen to f7, right? Just queen c5 check or queen d4 check, and then knight f1 comes with a check. Doesn't work. Does it work? He's played queen d1, but now queen c5 check. Is that working? Queen c5 should work. Should work. Let's see what he comes up with. Knight e2 also possible. So many options. Rich position for Radjabov. Down to 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. And he makes his move. His move was queen c5 check, rook f2, and rook g8. Queen e1. If you count the number of pawns, black is a pawn up, but that's far from the important thing. The most important thing is the white king is tremendously weak. King h2, c5. It's pushing the pawn. Queen c3. And knight e4. Wow. Bishop e4. There is queen g1 mate. It's knight e4 is just killer. Will Radjabov find it? He has just 10 seconds. It's not easy to find such moves. But he does. And Shakhriyar Mamedyarov knows that the writing is on the wall. And he resigns. Radjabov once again wins here with the t-shirt in his mouth. He can't believe that he's just beaten Mamedyarov. Of course, not as ecstatic celebrations after beating Magnus yesterday, because Mamedyarov is his countrymate, but still very, very happy to have won this game. Fantastic defensive play by Mamedyarov, by Radjabov. I think what was really cool for Radjabov was here he finding this idea with bishop takes f5 and moving the queen here. I think it was very difficult to see it from a distance, because, and once again, queen e7, f6, queen takes c5, and then the queen, then the knight moves from here to here. Great play, great defensive play by Radjabov. And with this, guys, the round has come to an end. Just to tell you about the results for today. What are the results? These are the standings, but let's go to the results. Duda. Oh, no. This is round 8 is today. Yeah. Wesley and Duda have drawn. They will play the tie breaks. Levon beat Magnus Carlsen 3-1. Radjabov has beaten Mamedyarov 2.5, 1.5. Anish and MVL. Anish won. After winning the first game, he played very nicely in the remaining 3 games and has won, although he was winning in the last game as well. Hikaru Artemiev 2-2 draw, blows exchange in games 2 and 4. That means 2 tie breaks, Wesley and Duda, Nakamura and Artemiev. But guys, I will take your leave because it's quite late in the night here, and also it's very tiring to commentate. If you can subscribe to ChessBase India and take us to 796k, that would be very cool. Step by step, we'll move towards 800k. Tanmay and Temur should be in the same team in Chess Super League, both chew t-shirts. Yeah, that's a good idea. Did I say 769? What did I say? Am I saying always 796 or something? Yeah, sorry. I think I'll go to Dubai for covering the World Championship, most likely, but not sure. Okay, I'll take your leave, guys. thank you all for tuning in, for enjoying chess with us. Uh, the tournament from standing perspective is no longer so exciting, but it is always exciting from the learning perspective, how much we can learn from these great players. And I don't want to miss any such opportunity for you guys to learn from this. Also, I would like to just tell you that in the description there are a few links of chessbase india products which would, if you would like to own, please do check them out. The one of the links is of the chess set over here, which we have. This is chessbase india's own chess set which comes with the box, and that's the second link. The first link is vedika's chocolates here, which are back in stock here, so you can check that out. The last one is chessbase 16 and mega database, which I used today to check few of anish's new ideas. Okay, until then, guys, I will take your leave. And if you guys have any suggestions about anything, you're most welcome to write to us at chessbaseindia@gmail.com. And of course, leaving you with the owners of the Chess Super League, which is happening from 11th to 17th of October. 8 more days left. And Suhani and Saina, Raftar, Mortal, Zakir, Biswa, and Tanmay are the owners. Guys, see you. Bye bye. Take care.